Bill Belichick's first season at North Carolina has been a complete disaster. This was not a program that needed to be rebuilt. Last year, they made it to a bowl game, and under Mac Brown, they were respectable. They weren't bottoming out and going 4-8, 2-10. Like, they were a respectable 6, 8, 9-win team at their best. They were just in the ACC championship a few years ago. Mac Brown was putting players into the NFL. Their star quarterback from a few years ago, Bill Belichick, doesn't even want North Carolina's social media team to post because he has a petty grudge against the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick and North Carolina, when they first arrived to Chapel Hill, they called themselves the NFL's 33rd team. Him and Michael Lombardi said that we're going to implement an NFL approach to overhauling North Carolina. So they treated the transfer portal like it was the equivalent to NFL free agency, and they viewed high school recruiting like it was the NFL draft. We probably aren't going to find a bunch of guys that are good enough to play right away as true freshmen, but with 2-3 years of development, they could become high-end starters for us. The problem with North Carolina's 33rd NFL team approach is that North Carolina doesn't look like the NFL's 33rd team, because if you're going to call yourselves the NFL's 33rd team, then you got to dominate everybody that you play. Not just from a talent standpoint, but from a coaching standpoint. You need to be out-scheming everybody, and North Carolina hasn't been able to do that. As a matter of fact, North Carolina plays more like Bishop Sycamore than they do the NFL's 33rd team, like how they hyped themselves up to be during this offseason. Against powerful opponents, North Carolina has been outscored 120-33. They've given up 40 points per game and only put up 11 points per game against the Power 4 teams that they played this year. They have given up over 465 yards per game against the Power 4 teams that they played. North Carolina is the equivalent to being a G5 team in the Power 4 conference. And how does one become a G5 team in the Power 4 conference? Well, when you're in the transfer portal and you're beating out a lot of group of 5 teams for the players that they're targeting in the portal, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a G5 team if you're getting a bunch of players out of the portal that were heavily targeted, but nothing but G5 teams, by nothing but G5 teams. The only legit Power 4 player that North Carolina has on the roster right now is the starting cornerback Thaddeus Dixon. That's the only guy that looks like he has a shot at making it to the NFL next year. Other than that, this is nothing but a team full of G5 players. And North Carolina was given $20 million for Bill Belichick to use to improve this team. And all him and Michael Lombardi did with that $20 million is get a bunch of offensive tackles, a quarterback that isn't even the best quarterback on North Carolina. That would be Max Johnson. And you got in a bunch of G5 level players. Instead, you should have used that $20 million to get proven Power 4 starters. The transfer portal class that Deion Sanders brought in when he first got to Colorado in 2023 was better than the transfer portal class that Bill Belichick brought into this season, because at least Deion Sanders had a good amount of 4- and 5-star talent from those portal cycles, from Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. You also got Dylan Edwards out of high school, Amarion Miller. And Colorado only won, 4 games in Deion's first season? So Bill Belichick, the only 2 wins that he has gotten is against a FCS squad and arguably the worst program in college football, that being Charlotte, and he only beat them 20-3. This was not supposed to be a rebuild for Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick was supposed to come to Chapel Hill and bring his NFL level expertise, all the 3-4 decades plus of experience coaching in the NFL that has led him to being the most accomplished coach in the history of football. He was supposed to bring this to Chapel Hill, and he was supposed to make this a hybrid between a college football program and an NFL program. And it's been anything but that. If anything, it's just been a free retirement check that Bill Belichick has been picking up for North Carolina, because it doesn't really look like he's put a lot of effort into coaching his team. When I envisioned a Bill Belichick coached UNC team, I thought I was going to see a team that was going to be fundamentally sound, not have a bunch of penalties, not have a bunch of missed tackles, not a bunch of missed assignments, competent quarterback play, the ability to run the football, and a physical football team, and a football team that will be able to punch up against teams that were more talented than them because of the advantage that they would have of having Bill Belichick on the sidelines. I thought that he would have a really good defense. And instead, North Carolina's defense somehow got even worse than what it was last season. And last year, they gave up 70 points to James Madison. Now it seems like you're giving up 40 burgers to everybody that you play, and nobody can even put up 70 on you, because by the time they get into the third quarter, they got the backups in. This has been an incredibly disappointing experiment. And I gave Bill Belichick the benefit of a doubt that he still was a good coach. But this North Carolina thing is not going to work. This was not supposed to be a rebuild. So it confuses me when I keep seeing comments saying Bill Belichick, give him 2-3 more years, he'll have North Carolina up and running. You don't hire a 73-year-old coach to rebuild. If you are going to ask Bill Belichick to rebuild this program, you are better off just keeping Mac Brown. You replaced a senior citizen with a senior citizen, and you're telling me that this was always the vision? 2-3 years to turn around the team that just made it to a bowl game last year and now is on pace for the worst season that they've had in over a decade?